One-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibes, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around. Every episode, spitting truth. Old school jams and the latest youth. We keep it real, no sugarcoat. Pop culture on the mic we wrote. So tell your friends and hit subscribe. Snake Cinema here to vibe. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. We're the hottest review in your street. Snake Cinema Podcast, stepping in. You want some review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibe, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around. Yo. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Snake Cinema Podcast. I am your host, Prince Elias. And today we are on episode 41, I believe. Got a good show for you. Today we'll be reviewing one movie, documentary, and two albums. So looking forward to that. And thank y'all for tuning in last week. Last week was a banger. Last week was one of my favorite episodes. And I think the next couple of weeks, if y'all looked at my post that I just posted on Instagram, the schedule for the next coming weeks, it's going to be fun. But we'll talk more on that at the end when I'm doing the shout outs and everything. But first, this podcast and every podcast is brought to you by Mutation Station, Lucy Land, Ball Pythons, Candy Lady Creations, and Flexing and Finessing Reptiles. Thank you to my sponsors. Thank y'all for always supporting your boy every week on this channel. I appreciate and I love y'all. Life and animal update news. Nothing much. I do have some new babies coming in. We're just, this damn weather has been like 100 degrees all week, and now it's raining in probably low 70s right now. So if only we trusted FedEx during the weekends, but of course we don't. But if only this weather that's right now going on outside was all week long, I would have had my babies. But patience is a virtue. I will be getting a door-free tick from Jordan, Heartland Reptiles, and I will be doing a YouTube video and a live when that happens, when I unbox that. And I'm getting a Mexican Black King snake from Dre, aka the Snake God. And then I got a couple more ball pythons that are part of my breeding colony, my breeding pairs from my mentors, Mutation Station and Lucy Land Ball Pythons. Just need to get a bigger rack for those particular ones. But everybody else, the retic, the MBK, their enclosures, their temporary tubs are here and set up. I'm just waiting on the animals. And also life updates for if you don't follow me on social media. I've been fighting the vid for the fourth time. 4 times a charm, I guess. I don't know. I done had COVID ever since COVID first came out in 2020. Surprisingly enough, a lot of people already know this, but for those who don't know, new listeners, I haven't had a sense of smell since 2020. I can't smell anything, hardly anything. And if someone were to say, hey, smell this, I have to literally put it right here to my nose and still barely anything, barely, faintly. And depending on what it is, like if it's like Lysol or something like that, nothing at all. Nothing goes through this nostril. But this time I did not lose my taste. The first 2 times I had COVID, back in 2020 and in 2021, I lost my taste. But I got my taste back. But because I don't have a sense of smell, my taste has been altered. So luckily this go round, I did not lose my taste. I can still taste my food. It's just the same as it's been since 2020. Some salty foods are too salty for me now, so I don't even bother eating it. You won't catch me at a Chili's because it just feels like I'm eating a plate of salt in my life. But yeah, that's the life updates. I am coming around. My fever broke sometime yesterday morning / evening. I did try to clean my snake enclosures. What was it? Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. No, Thursday. Thursday, I tried to clean the snakes enclosures, which I did, but don't do that when you're fighting a fever and battling COVID, because I've been feeling like death ever since. I should have just waited, but I love my animals too much. If I see poop, I gotta clean it out. But that is it. All the animals are good. They're healthy. They're getting fat. Hopefully not this weekend. Hopefully next weekend I can take them out in the city, maybe downtown Memphis, or maybe to the park and get some sun if it's not too hot. Um, and introduce them to people, because we used to do that a lot. Me and Jimmy used to do that a lot. Go to the park, and hang out. But it's been like scorching, blazing hot, like too hot for a snake to be just sitting outside basking. So I never want to put my animals' health at risk. But hopefully, weather permitting, me and Jimmy could go outside in these streets and see some people. All right, let's talk to the people in the chats. In the chats before we get started with our reviews. My niece was first. Banna, hey. Thank you for tapping in. And of course, my sister Swifties, Neurofy Exotics, Krista. Thank you for tapping in, and congrats again on your clutch. She cut her second clutch on Hair Down. Super nice, super nice. Team Banana all the way. You already know, Father Don, Father Dizzle. Happy Saturday. I know you walking the dogs probably. So hey, Quake and Swagger. What up, what up? Mr. Floppy, Row 50. Thank you for tapping in, and thank you for always supporting your boy and posting my podcast in the chats. Your keys, sophisticated ignorance. And not only that, Keys has been doing a lot now. Not only is he collabing and now co-host with Ro and Wiz on Sophisticated Ignorance. Him and Wiz are together on Balls and Things. We call it Wiz Keys on Wednesdays. And then, of course, here down Fridays, Keys is working. He is hustling in this podcast game. Hosting, co-hosting, all that jazz. So please tap in with Keys on everything. Him, Ro, and Wiz. Perfect combination, especially on Saturday nights. Let's see. Fred, what it do? MTZ Pythons, thank you for tapping in and always supporting. Always. Thank you. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, yeah. Krista just said, thanks for letting me cut on the show. Yes. Super nice. I couldn't stay up with y'all. I could not stay up with y'all last night. Usually I'm up to like 1 a.m. at least. I was like, no. COVID said sit down. Once I took that Tamiflu medicine and some I forgot what other medicine my dad told me to take, it was lights out. I almost missed the podcast, y'all. Usually I wake up, I set my alarm at 7 a.m. so I can have time to shower, get breakfast, drink coffee before this show every Saturday. I was so drunk off that medication, I forgot to set my alarm, and I woke up at like 8:15. I was like, shit. So I was rushing this morning, but it was fun. I will be catching the replay gang on Hair Down Friday after this podcast. But yeah, great times, great show. Y'all did excellent as always. Egg cuttings, people coming in, spitting game, spitting knowledge about the industry, the snakes breeding, just everything. Keisha, what it do? Thanks for tapping in. Also, I did post that I have, the next upcoming weeks. Next week, I'm giving y'all a week because I could have reviewed Deadpool this week, but I don't want to because I don't want to accidentally say some spoilers. I'm gonna try not to do spoilers, but if I do spoilers, I don't want to feel guilty. So I'm giving y'all a week. Y'all got till next week to watch Deadpool and Wolverine. Otherwise, I might end up spoiling it for you come next Saturday. That will be reviewed. And of course, Keys and Wiz, y'all are my Marvel nerds. Road to anybody who's a Marvel nerd. If you want to be a special guest and be a part of that review for next Saturday, hit me up in the DMs and we will let that make that happen. Also, Ro, Mr. Floppy, I think we got 2 more episodes. I think we got 2 more episodes. I scheduled the Game of Thrones or the House of Dragons maybe 2 or 3 weeks ahead. So be ready, boy. Be ready. Once season finale premieres, we are reviewing that show. So probably 2 or 3 weeks. I think we got 2 more episodes before the season finale. So for House of Dragons. And if anybody else wants to review that with me and Ro, aka Mr. Floppy, you can, because I got a lot to talk about. I got a lot to talk about when it comes to that show. Team Black. Team Black all the way. Except Eamon. Punk ass. Anyways, we'll talk more about that during that. We'll talk more about that during that review. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and do the documentary first to get that out the way. And then we'll see how the album reviews go. They might be fast. They might take a minute. I don't know anymore. All right, first review is The Man with 1,000 Kids. If you heard, I'm pretty sure this story has been around for at least, I've heard for at least 2 or 3 years. Well, I thought this particular story was around for like 2 or 3 years because I saw it on the news or one of them Facebook articles, not even news. But I came to find out that that what I thought I saw was something totally different. Of course, this documentary touches on, I want to say, sperm fraud. I want to say, I don't know the correct term, but fertility fraud. Yeah, let's do that. Fertility fraud. There was news about a doctor that got caught doing this, where he was swapping out donors' sperms with his own and end up having kids all around the world. This ain't that. This ain't that. This is a totally different story. So fertility fraud has been going around a lot, apparently, because there are 2 different stories that at least I've heard of. This particular doc and a totally different story. But this particular doc is about a man who was kind of like a YouTuber, kind of like a guru, self-help type dude. Those peace love, blonde hair, blue eyes guys who are on the internet talking about life and talking about, the chakras are aligned and all that bullshit. So he was, I believe, in Ireland is where he was based, and he was going around donating to multiple sperm banks, multiple. And I believe the laws, because where he is from is a very small pool, small population, and the risks of your kids growing up to be adults and accidentally marrying their half sibling is very, very high. Because the population is so small. But so this, where he's from, I want to say Ireland, but if I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. He was the rules, the law is you only supposed to donate an X amount of quantities. And the rule was you only supposed to donate to one particular sperm bank. He was donating to all of them. Not only was he donating to all of them, but he was also doing his own donations. As in, hey, if the wife wants to, we can do it the old school way. So you can get a kid. We can guarantee that you get a kid. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to censor myself for YouTube because they've been flagging me for stupid shit. But and then also he would, like, even if he don't sleep with the women, because most of them were pretty much married, he will at least show up at their house, meet the couple, and then he'll go into the restroom, handle his business, put it in a tube or a cup, and hand it to them, and they do what they do to get pregnant. But either way, he was breaking all kinds of rules. He was going to multiple banks, donating. He was donating the old school way, bootlegging, to say. And not only that, but then he started to travel the world. That's what he also did on his YouTube channel. He was one of those positive, motivating, self-help gurus, but he was also like a travel vlogger. So one minute he's in Spain, the next minute he's in Costa Rica, the next minute he's somewhere in America, next minute he's in Tokyo. He was traveling around the world, and while he was traveling, he was donating. You get what I'm saying with this whole fertility fraud? So somehow, I think two of the women put two and two together because they're all from the same country. They put two and two together, some via social media. I guess they both followed him on YouTube and Facebook and stuff. They was like, wait a minute. You got pregnant by him? You also went to the sperm bank and chose him as a donor? Oh, you too? And it started to click, and they started to meet other women. And it was like, wait a minute. The rules are you only supposed to donate X amount, and we're now up to 50 women who's been pregnant by this dude. Now we're up to, then they start doing their research, and they started, spying on him and looking him up and doing all that. And they was like, wait a minute. We're almost at 100. Wait a minute. We're at 500. Oh my gosh. This man may have 1,000 kids and counting all around the world, not just in our home country, but all around the world. And it blew up. And so the women start doing their own investigations. As you know, women do. When they suspect something, like if a man was cheating or something, and they go do they snooping, they researching to find out, they start doing that. And he ended up getting sued by them. Some of them. And of course, you know what happens when the law gets involved. The man goes into hiding, and I'm not going to spoil the rest of the documentary, whether he gets caught or not, whether he goes to jail or not. I'm not spoiling none of that because I want y'all to go see this. This is on Netflix right now. You can go and watch this doc, but it was a whole lot of themes, and even a theme or an idea that the documentary didn't even touch on. They glazed over, and that was eugenics. I think this man, not only was he a narcissist, not only was he egotistical, thinking that he's like a god and that he, some sort of messiah in some way. You know how those cult leaders be. But he felt like he needed to spread his race, his genes, the blue eye, blonde hair, the Fabio looking dude. He wanted to spread that everywhere, into every single country. And I feel like, and the documentary didn't touch on that, but I feel like that was that man's MO, most importantly, because he wasn't getting paid a lot. It wasn't like the donations, he was getting like thousands of dollars donating sperm. No, he would do some of this stuff for free. He did a lot of this stuff for the free, like did not get paid a dime for his sperm in some cases. So I feel like it was more of an ego. I need to spread my wild loaf, spread my seeds everywhere, every American, every Ireland, every Japanese person, everybody need to have a little bit of me in them. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of weird and psychotic. And yeah. Just like the last documentary I reviewed for y'all, where the woman who abused the handicapped man pissed me off, this guy pissed me off. The documentary was great. It was amazing. But that man in particular pissed me the fuck off, because I'm like, oh my gosh. Just imagine how many families who did not know, who never found out. They just went to a sperm bank, looked online or looked through the photos like, oh, he looks like a decent guy. He looks like he got good genetics. He like he got good credentials. Let's let him. He might, and he looks similar to what we look like almost. Let's have our baby through him. You know what I'm saying? It's like so many. He has so many victims. Not only the kids, but the couples. Just imagine you thinking that you probably the only person who was able to get this man's DNA to help you with fertility issues because you physically can't have kids for whatever reason. And just knowing that he's spreading it out to the point to where they're counting 1,000. Confirmed 500, but it could be more. But it's like, and then all those poor kids to grow up, not even knowing their father, but also there's a possibility that that anybody on the street could be their sibling. Anybody they meet, especially in his home country, in his hometown. That's a recipe. I think everybody in that country needs to be given a free DNA test just in case. Everybody, especially if you go through the timeline and you see who was born on what year and what days. When he was on his rampage, when he was peaking, yeah, it was crazy. That documentary was wild as fuck. I was like, what the world am I watching? Like, what in the world? And how did he get away with this? Supposedly, maybe, probably. I'm not spoiling it because I'm not spoiling whether he went to jail or not. Uh so because I really want y'all to go watch this. But yeah, A Man with 1,000 Kids. Out of all the docs that I've watched so far this year, this has to be one of the craziest, one of the funniest. Um, as far as docs go on Netflix, you know how they do. The music was great, the cinematography was great. They interviewed as many people as they could find who wanted to talk. I loved it. I enjoy it. I give this doc a 9 out of 10. I really highly recommend it. That's why I'm not spoiling the whole thing, like how the story ends. You can either Google it yourself or you can go watch it. But I'd rather you go watch The Man with 1,000 Kids. But be careful out there. Be careful. I think everybody, especially in his home country, if you decide that you want to go on and date and go to the clubs, everybody need a DNA test or some saying, yo, we might be related because we were adopted or because our mom went to a sperm bank and we might have the same daddy. Oh, you got the same eyes, you got the same hair color. Oh, we might be, hey cuz, hey sister, hey brother. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, it's wild. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it as a documentary, even if the man himself pissed me off and frustrated me on a high end. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I give it what I say, 9 out of 10. Go see it. It's on Netflix. It's funny. It's crazy. I highly, highly recommend it. And again, don't get it confused because there is another story from years ago where a doctor did pretty much the same thing, except it was a sperm donor doctor who was just swapping out sperm. He pretty much did the same fraud. Just I don't think he traveled the world and did as much as this guy did, but you know what I'm saying? So that's don't get those two stories mixed up. But it has happened more than once. This guy in this documentary is not the first, and he won't be the last. Let's see. Let's see what I missed in the comments. Father Don, you a fool. You a fool. See, this is why I ignore y'all in the comments till I finish reviewing, because you lost your taste. Instead, what stopped you from liking hypo? Y'all are fools. Got too drunk and wanted to go to show. Y'all still talk about here and there. Y'all funny. Funny. Let's see. Who else did I? Hold on, hold on. Krista said that show was crazy. That dude is pretty active on YouTube still. Oh, okay. That I can believe. One thing that surprised me was how many people initially, before it spread across the world, wanted to use sperm donor. Didn't even think that was coming. Yes, it really is. Because sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, you'd be surprised. I don't know if it's the healthcare system. I don't know if it's the food we eat. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the climate we're in, but there are a lot of women who cannot get pregnant for some reason, or they can get pregnant, but it takes a lot. Like doing it the old fashioned way is not doing it anymore. It's not like, we decided not to use a condom and now, now we like they really have to use their IVF treatment and get help. And there's a lot of men who also have fertility issues. Like they just can't produce. They can't make nothing. They try. Them and their wives try. I know a lot of people. I know at least 6 or 7 people personally in my life, personally, who had fertility issues and needed help with IVF, sperm donations, either because of the man's side or the woman's side. But either way, yeah, it's a lot of people. And some people, like there's some people who aren't married, but they want to have kids and they ain't got time to wait. They not having time to wait for that perfect husband or that perfect wife. And they like, look, I need to hurry up and have these kids before I end up too old to have kids. So they do, yeah, it's a lot of reasons why people go to the sperm bank rather than doing it the old fashioned way. Like it's more than what we think. It is very common, very very common, people going to the sperm bank. But yeah, and we got assholes like this guy taking advantage. What up, Wiz? Thank you for tapping in. They should put him on child support, right? Right? I think that's why they sued him, honestly, because they like, oh no, all thousand children need to put that man on child support. LKB Pike us. Thank you for tapping in. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Brittany, thank you for tapping in. Big Mike, Herb Collectors, thank you for tapping in this morning. Man. So yeah, that was my review of a man with 1,000 kids. Guys, please be careful out there. And when I say guys, I mean everybody. It's gender neutral. Everybody. Be careful out there. If you trying to make a family and the old-fashioned way can't help you for whatever reason, what we eat, the chemicals in our body, whatever it is, and you need to go get help, be careful who you choose, because you might choose a man who has donated way more than what he's supposed to legally. And you end up, your kids end up having 50,000 siblings all across the globe that they don't even know about. Gots to be more careful. All right, now let's get to some music reviews. Let's switch things up. So let's go ahead and do Childish. Childish Gambino dropped a new album called Bando Stone in the New World. That's the name of his album. And I did see on a particular interview or something where he's saying that he's dropping the Childish Gambino moniker. He's putting an end to Childish Gambino, the character, the alter ego, and he's now going to go by Bando Stone. So I guess this album is an intro to that. Now, how much of that is him for real, pivoting and changing his style and his sound and wanting to change the name to go with it? Or how much of it is just BS marketing? Because artists do that all the time. You have artists that retire after every album and then come back. You have artists that change or claim they're changing their name to something else, only to the next album or the next two albums go back to the original name that everybody knows them from. So I'm going to continue to call him Childish Gambino. I don't know this Bando Stone guy. And so I'm just going to wait it out. I'll change his name when he drops 3 albums under the Bando Stone moniker, if he's truly changing his name to no longer be called Childish Gambino as a musician, as a rapper, as a singer and stuff like that. So we'll see. But this is the name of his album. This is the new name that he claims he's going to go by. And so one thing about Childish Gambino that I admire is that he is multi-talented. I put him up there with the Jamie Foxxes of the world because he could act, sing, rap, do multiple things, multi-talented. He writes, he has his TV shows like Atlanta, and he's done movies, he's directed and produced films and shows and stuff. So he really is an all-around talented guy. And so a lot of people know him first from his acting, but I was introduced to him before. I never watched Community, so I didn't know any of that shit. And I did not watch his stand-ups until many, many years later. So I knew him as the rapper Childish Gambino. That's how I was introduced to him. And so that's what I know him the most, and that's what I follow the most. Now, yes, I will watch his shows and movies when I see him acting, because he is a good actor. He's very, very, like I said, he's like Jamie Foxx. He's very multi-talented. He has range when it comes to his acting. But I enjoy his music more than anything else. And so I ran to this album. When I saw it dropped, I ran to it and listened to it. I played it while cleaning up. Um, and because he does have that type of sound where it's like, especially with Awaken My Soul album, that album was so amazing. You can listen to that for set any mood. It's a cleaning album, it's a road trip album, it's a let's get ready to go clubbing album. It's just, it's such a great record. And so that was the mood I was on when I listened to this. I had popped it on while I was cleaning snakes and stuff. And I will say I do like that he flip flopped every other song. So one song he was rapping, it was a rap song. The next song he was singing. The next song he was rapping. The next song he was singing. Now, if someone like a Drake did that, or any guys like that who try to mix the rapping and the singing, that would have probably annoyed me. But for some reason, the way sonically, with the production, with the music, the vocals, the lyrics, it just flowed. It flowed and it went together, and I was like, damn, he actually curated this album to where it just worked out. Like it did not, it did not, it did not jar me except for one record, and I'll get to that in a second. It did not like take me out of the mood, even though he was flip flopping from singing to rapping on every other song. Now, I will say, if I took all the rap songs and made a separate album and put all the singing songs and make a separate album, I will say I liked all the rap songs better off this record. In my opinion, the rap songs were way better, except for one song, and I'll get to that in a second because I do got a con. I do got one con. Um, I like them way better than the singing songs. And again, I love when he sings. I like Awaken My Soul. That album is top of the line. But for this record, for Bando Stone, some of the singing songs I could skip. I could do without. Um, and before I get to the cons, let's get to the pros, and I'll tell you the songs I did like, the songs I recommend. If you never listen to Childish Gambino ever, first, if you never listen to Childish Gambino, go listen to Awaken My Soul first. Listen to that album first, and then come to this one. And when you come to this one, I recommend, hold on, because I have them saved in my playlist. I recommend personally, uh, there's a song called Gotta Be. I really enjoyed that. Talk My Shit with Flo Millie and A. Marie. Amaray. That was a great record. I love that one. Let's see. Real Love is more of a singing song. It's more of him singing. It's not really hip hop, but that was a good record. I love that one. There's a song he did with Georgia Smith and Amaray. The two songs feature Amaray are amazing. They are amazing. So I reckon those are my top highlight songs of the album. I really enjoyed it. And I'm not saying the other songs I didn't enjoy was whack or anything. They're not whack. Like the whole record is good. It's just that I could do without. Like I don't have to go back to the other records. They were like, eh. Now there was one song that took me out, and I hate that it took me out because it's featuring one of my favorite R&B girls, Chloe from Chloe and Halle. It broke my heart. Not her feature. Her feature was great. She was amazing. It was him that fucking messed it up for me because he sounded way too much like Kanye. Like he rapped like Kanye's flow, Kanye's cadence, the voice, to the point where I thought Kanye was featured on it. You know, nowadays these artists, they try to feature an artist on their record, but not put it in the titles. They try to sneak and surprise you with. That's what I thought at first. But when I listened to it again, I was like, no, that is Childish rapping this. It took me out because it sounded like a copycat of a bad Kanye record. like one of those jumbled messes that Kanye been doing lately and stuff like that, where he's just not being talented. He's not being the musician we know he can be. That's what it sounded like. So to me, it was a waste of a good feature. Cause if you're gonna have Chloe from Chloe and Halle on it, why would you do this shit? And so I would never go back to that song again. It just took me out. It took me out the element because I was like, why is he rapping like this? Why does he sound like this? Like, why does he sound like a totally different person? So, I mean, you can listen to it and judge for yourself. It's called Survive, featuring Chloe. And I don't know. It felt like he was just copying Kanye. The flow, the style, the way he was rapping, the beat. I was just like, it just took me out. It took me out. Another thing that took me out that I could never listen to again is called Yoshiana, and it's supposedly supposed to be a diss track to Drake. Now, like I said, I like Drake music. I'm not gonna sit here and be a Drake hater. I like Drake's music, and I like especially his old shit before he started turning to Kanye. And by turning to Kanye, give us bullshit just because they know they can. They're at that stage in their life where they just put out anything and don't care if it sounds good because they know their fan base is going to listen regardless. Um, However, I feel like everybody trying to rap and do a Drake diss track is starting to get whack. The only people who need to diss Drake, who are talented enough to diss Drake, is Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T. And those beefs are personal. So the only people who should be beefing and writing diss tracks to him are those two in my eyes. And all these other rappers who are trying to jump on the bandwagon, like the Rick Rosses of the world, like what Childish trying to do in Yoshiana and stuff, it's like, come on, y'all. You sound whack. It's very cringe. It's very whack. It's very corny. Like, and you're just doing it because of the moment. You're only doing it because Drake is down bad, and you know, and it's just cool to diss him. You're only doing it because it's cool to diss him. Like the song was trash. The song was horrible, and he was rapping like Drake. He was rapping in the style of Drake. Like, don't diss me and sound like me. Like, come on now. But yeah, those two records, the Survive record and the Yoshiana record, they will never be touched again, at least for my listening ears. And I wouldn't recommend it because it's just trash. It's just bad songs. When you're trying to blatantly copy somebody and you don't at least sound good, at least make it sound good. And he did not sound good on those two records. But overall, as a whole, if I just took those two songs away, and thank God for Spotify, they got this feature. If you listen to an album, you can now click hide a certain song and it disappears and they'll never play it again for you. I love that feature. That's my favorite feature. So when I'm listening to this album, those two tracks I just talked about, the cons that I don't like, they gone. I don't even see it. I can play the whole record from beginning to end, and them two songs will never get played. So thank you, Spotify, for that dope feature thing to do. But yeah, but overall, I would give this record 7.5 out of 10. It's not horrible, but it's not his best. And we'll see how he goes moving forward with this whole Bando Stone character, how Bando Stone, this moniker, how it differs from the Childish Gambino moniker. Are we going to get a new style? Are we going to get a new? Is this the more mature Childish Gambino? Is like, I don't know. We'll see. Because like I said, it could be just a marketing ploy to get people to go listen to the record saying, I'm ending Childish Gambino. This is the end of Childish. We're now being referred to as Bando Stone. So we'll see. We'll see in future albums. But I like the record. As a whole, I like the album. I would recommend that everybody try it out. Again, if you never listened to Childish Gambino's music, start with Awaken My Soul. And also, if you want to listen to him in his rap bag, I recommend his older work, Because of the Internet. Because of the Internet is a dope ass album. I love Because of the Internet. That was one of his earlier works, probably his first. I don't know if it was his first record, probably his second record, but that shit amazing. I recommend those two albums, and then you'll come back and listen to this, minus those two songs that I don't care for. Because he was just he wasn't being himself. He was copying other people. cadence and flows and stuff. And it was jarring. It was too much to where you couldn't. It just took me out. It just took me out. That's the only way I can explain it. Um, let's see what the chitty chat's saying. Eric B, what it do? Thanks for tapping in, Big Mike. What up? What up? What up? What up? Okay, okay, okay. I didn't miss much. Thank you, Eric. Yes, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Yes, thank you, Blakers, what it do, fam? Thank you for tapping in. Eric said, I think you're wrong. He sounds real good when you turn it up. Eric, to know you is to love you. All right. Now, some people were mad in my Megan review, in my Megan taste and insight. So let's switch things up and do some real female hip hop, some real rapidy rap. Since people don't like the club gangster, not gangster, the club stripper sounds, the female artists of today. There is a female artist today that is so fucking underrated. Honestly, there are several, but today we're only speaking of one of them. So underrated. Don't get the recognition she deserves, and that's because she do the rapidy rap. She do the backpack old school hip hop to remind you of, all the greats, and that is Rapsody. Rapsody just dropped that. She's been dropping albums for a while now. She's been out for almost a decade, I think. But I was first introduced to her during the pandemic. I believe she dropped like a mixtape or something during that time, during 2020. I can't remember, but that's when I was first introduced to her, and I was like, yo, this woman got bars. This woman is fire. And so she just dropped a new album called Please Don't Cry. It came out a couple of weeks ago. And I would say this record is very neo soul hip hop. I say backpack rap, but really it's very neo soul hip hop. Like, she has a record with Erykah Badu. She has a record with Dixon, the singer Dixon, Alex Isley, the singer Alex Isley. So she mixes and blends a lot of neo soul into her raps. And so on this record, she's done other flows and other styles in her previous works where it's just like banger, like rapidy rap bars, hip hop. This one, she's more in her soulful bag, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. She even has a song on here featuring Lil Wayne. Now, to make Lil Wayne do like a neo soul hip hop backpack record, only Rapsody could do that. I was shocked. I was very surprised with that record. It's called Raw, and I highly recommend it. Very, very good. And to hear Lil Wayne in that bag, in that flow, rapping with her. Like I said, Rapsody is so underrated. And she's one of those rappers. If you say you like Jay-Z, if you say you like Lil Wayne, if you say you like any of these guys who can give you bars, who can give you flows, who can give you the one-liners and stuff like that, who the double entendres, Rapsody is up there. She is up there. She could just as rap, if not out rap, some of your favorites. But because of that, she's not getting the radio play. Because of that, she's not getting the spins, the playlists placements, the Apple playlist placements and stuff like that, because she's not shaking her ass. She's not beefing with nobody. She's not throwing shots at no other female rapper. She's just doing her. But it's so good. This is like high quality hip hop. And so, to the point to where I was jamming to this from start to finish. When it first came out, I was jamming to this when I had to drive to Nashville to watch my sister's dog. I was jamming to this when I was making breakfast the other day. of the morning. It's just it is that type of record where she has some songs on here. It's on my gym playlist. She got some songs on here that's on my, just soulful, relaxing, cleaning up playlist. Like she has it all. And I hate that she's not getting the recognition or love that she deserves. But let's get to the tracks that I do love. I already mentioned one. It's Raw featuring Lil Wayne and Nico Brim. Fire song. Loved it. Back in My Bag. If you want to hear her rappity rap, braggadocious hip hop, like I'm the best of the best and all this other shit, listen to Back in My Bag. That's on my workout playlist. I love that. Lift the weights to that. God's Light is pretty good. I enjoyed that. A Diary of a Mad Bitch. Yo, I feel sorry for any nigga that breaks her heart because she ain't gonna do all that cry. She's gonna dish you and fuck you up lyrically. Like talk mad shit to you lyrically. Like, yeah. But that it is starring and it's featuring BB Borelli. Great dope record, great, niggas ain't shit record. That's what I like to call the dudes ain't shit, the niggas ain't shit record. That's a great record. Diary of a Mad Bitch is so good, so raw, so hardcore. Loose Rocks with Alex Isley, Black Pop Star, dope record. D&D, Do Not Disturb. D&D Is Not Personal featuring BB. Dope record. And Asteroids, and it was produced by Hit Boy. Asteroids is that record. It's dope. I loved it. This whole album was amazing. It was refreshing. It was refreshing. When you hear hip hop like this, especially coming from a woman, when you hear rap like this, it's refreshing because it's not the twerk music. It's not the typical what we hear. It's not the all these bitches hate me and they can't beat me and yada. It ain't that. It's like real, just rap, just real raw rap, and I loved it. I love Rhapsody. Besides, dang, the name just slipped me. There's like three girls that I really love in the hip hop space. It's not the three girls that you normally hear. It's not the Cardis, the Nickies, or the Megs, although I do like them. But my favorite female rappers, Rhapsody is up there. She is number one. And I wish the names did not slip my mind just to the other two. But yeah, I love it. I love it. This is a great album. Flo Milli, number two. Flo Milli is that bitch. And then Rico Nasty. That's what it was. Rico Nasty. Yeah, they're my top three. Rhapsody's number one. Flo Milli's number two. Rico Nasty's number three. Those are my favorite female rappers, hip hoppers, because they're so different from the norm, and they got them fucking bars. They can out rap a lot of these dudes to the point that you can't put them in the female rap category. You cannot compare them to the Megs or the Nickies or the or the Cardi B's and stuff because they're not even close to that. They are like far beyond. But because of that, and because of the consumers and because of the record labels, they are not going to get the love that they rightfully deserve and the talent that they have. But anyways, I give this record 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorites of the year. Will it make it top 10 at the end of the year? I don't know. That's to be determined. But so far, it is it's one of my favorites, especially in rap. One of my favorite, definitely up there. So please, if you like real hip hop, check out Rhapsody. Please don't cry. Great album. Great album. And she had the great legendary Felicia Rashad in the interludes, talking in the interludes. When you get a legend like that, when you get Claire Huxtable like that in your album, you know you're doing something good. So yeah, that I loved it. I recommend it to anybody. If there's some people say I don't listen to rap, I say go listen to Rhapsody. Go listen to Rhapsody. You will not regret it. All right, let's see who else has snuck in here because I see Dragon. What it do, Dragon? Haven't seen you in a minute. Nameless Q. What it do? Thanks for tapping in. Y'all. So yeah, those are the only reviews that I have No, I understand, Vanna. Look, I'm the podcast that nobody looks at, but they listen to. Because Saturday mornings, y'all either getting ready to go, hit the streets, or you're busy doing something, or you're cleaning. I understand. I understand. Let's see. So let's get this schedule out the way, just so everybody's on one accord. Next week, I am reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine, as well as the album, a new album from Glass Animals. If you don't know who Glass Animals is, you've heard at least one of their songs on all the TikTok videos. You probably even put one of their songs on all the TikTok videos. But they just dropped a new album. I love Glass Animals. The next one is Twisters, the movie Twisters, and the album Jenin. Jenin is a K-pop artist from the group BTS. He did dropped a solo record. And then we got featuring RO, the House of the Dragons review. We're going to talk season 1 and 2. Mainly season 2 is getting reviewed, but we got to talk season 1, some stuff in season 1 to get to season 2. And so if you have not watched House of the Dragons, if you have not watched Game of Thrones, look, we got 2 episodes left. 2 episodes left. You better go on HBO Max and binge watch that shit right now, because we are spoiling everything. I'm not going to do no spoiler alerts. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I got a lot to talk about. So that's our schedule for the next 3 weeks, I believe, give or take. And then also this afternoon, I want to say 2 p.m. my time, Central, is In Your Circle with Irresistibles. They are back. They took a little hiatus because they had to, they were vending some shows and they had other things they had to do, but they are back with Angel on their podcast In Your Circle. So please watch that. And Mike, I don't think they have a show this week. I think it's next week. Double Clutch, yeah, they do it every other week. So Double Clutch is next Saturday, but always be on the lookout. Double Clutches be on Saturdays, right before Sophisticated Ignorance. So I want to say around 7 p.m. And then we have Wiz, RO, Keys, and all of the hootie-hoos for Sophisticated Ignorance. And y'all know we always get the legendary Levance and Kyle Hoffman and Ash, and they always dropping gems. All these wonderful, wonderful, underrated breeders. And I say underrated because nobody talks about them or brags about them but our peoples. They are the ghosts. They are the legend. They've been doing this for a long time, and they've been coming on Hair Down Fridays of Sophisticated Ignorance, dropping gems and educating all us newbies in a lot of stuff. And of course, we get ignorant sometimes. We get a little stupid too. So I will see y'all tonight on that show. And yeah, let's just continue to support each other, continue to love each other, continue to watch all the podcasts. Even if you can't watch it live, hit them replays, smash them likes, all that shit. And yeah, I think that's it as far as housekeeping. And as far as reviews, thank y'all for tapping in again and supporting your boy. And again, thank you to my channel sponsors, Mutation Station, Lucy Land, Candy Lady Creations, and Flexing and Finessing Reptiles. I love y'all. I love everybody who's always loving me and always supporting me. And thank y'all once again. Thank y'all to the replay gang. The replay gang, I know y'all probably still sleep. When y'all wake up, do what you do. Smash them buttons and comment. And I'll see y'all next week, y'all. Deadpool and Wolverine. We in there. We in there. We gonna be reviewing. So see y'all later. Y'all have a blessed Saturday, a blessed weekend, and we out.
Cinema podcast stepping in. Your one-stop review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibes, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around. episode, spitting truth, old school jams and the latest youth. We keep it real, no sugarcoat. Pop culture on the mic we wrote. So tell your friends and hit subscribe. Make cinema here to vibe. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. We're the hottest review in your street. Snake Cinema Podcast, stepping in. You want some review, let it sink in. Hip-hop vibe, we break it down. Laughs and insights all around.